Alright everybody, we are here today checking out a little banger by the name of Strandings. Now, Strandings is one of those games that occasionally comes your way that captivates you, even if you're not 100% sure what's really going on. You see, on the surface, you're dealing with a Strand-like game. You're the beacon of light, trying to restore order in a cursed forest, inspired by dark fairy tales, presumably in this current state, due to a wicked witch. However, the more you uncover by exploring this open world as its guiding light, more of the inner workings of the game start to emerge, which makes you realize there's more going on in this place and its inhabitants than what you initially believed. That being said, I would like to thank Modern Wolf and Strange Scaffold for supporting the channel by sponsoring this video. If you enjoy what you see here today, I will have a link for you in the description to either purchase or wishlist Strandings on Steam, available as of July 7. Alright everybody, let's get right to it now, shall we? We're going to be skipping the tutorial for this one as I will be your tutorial.
God, please, no! No!
I will be your guiding light, so to say, in more than one way, because we are literally going to be, as I've mentioned, a guiding light here in this game. But I would encourage you to check out the tutorial in your own time if you pick up the game for yourselves, because it does an amazing job of basically running down all the information the game has to offer to you in like literally under a minute, and by letting you actually practice it yourself, which I love. I hate tutorials that are super long and just give you like non-stop text and you're over here like reading a book. It's like, I just want to play the game, dog. Dark things live in this forest and you are not one of them. You arrive quietly in a cloud of dust and magic, conjured by the forest itself at its very heart. A spirit of light, as I mentioned, we are the beacon of light, to confront the dark of the witch who ruined it. One miracle at a time. I'm literally the cursor at all times. This game, basically everything you do is going to be with the mouse, which is so great as well. Keeps your other hand free for whatever reason you might need, is all I'm going to say.
Stop it.
But bottom left of the screen, you should see a kind of a hollowed out tree, right? That indicates the current state of the forest, which is bad. We want to fill that bad boy up. We're going to be doing that by interacting with the inhabitants. Now, the inhabitants in the forest, you're thinking, are going to be animals, right? Sure. But again, that's where I've mentioned the game goes a little bit different than what you might expect. Over here, we have ourselves a note. It echoes a lingering sense of regret. Longer than buildings and roads and the inevitable march of progress, this tree has stood. The witch has not been able to topple it, and yet, no one remembers its name. Not even me. Now, let's get to it. Over here, we cannot traverse these blocks over here. The green were good. We could traverse through water. These over here, if we check those out, these are the haunted Mycelium. You hear the green hum of souls stranded by choice, nestling in the ground. They link to each other then for companionship, for warmth, and for a better future. Now, the hex tiles are these bad boys that are, pulsating right here next to us right now. What these things do, you ask? Well, if we go in there, as you can see, I'm dying. They kill you. Not the only dangerous hex you need to be dealing with in this game, but that one in particular is bad. Over here, this is going to be water. We could traverse through here and we're fine. And as you can see, if we move off here to the right, we've already found one of the inhabitants of the forest. Now, we'll talk about what we'll do with the hex tiles soon, but since we found this fella right here, you find another soul to care for. We have found Heather. Trying to believe in brighter days, Heather happens to be sick. We have helped Heather 0 days. Now we're going to have a progression of time here as you go along. We're starting off in, literally our first day. Heather reacts with surprise. She spent countless hours and days staring at the tree at the heart of the forest, hoping for a change. And here you are. The only thing more surprising than an unanswered cry in an hour of need? An answered one. It's a miracle, some might say, right? So, we know that Heather is sick. What can we do for Heather? Well, we're looking for ways to heal that sickness. Here we have a berry. This helps with hungry and thirsty. Unfortunately, none of those things really are bothering Heather. Let's continue going down through here. The brown ones that I'm going through right now are mud. All they really do is just slow you down, which is a little bit annoying at times, but that's about it. Now, if you're wondering about those hex tiles, we'll get to them here as soon as we go through here. Now, this is where you got to be careful. Where your mouse could sometimes, your sensitivity, you'd have the right sensitivity on, could screw you up. If you're basically going really fast, you could just slam into the hex and, get caught in surprise there. How do we get rid of the hex, you're saying? Well, the haunted Mycelium. If we bring this over through here, anywhere really, and just set her down, Hex gone. And we could do this to obviously progress further and further over here. Now, we're gonna go up a bit more. Be careful though, because as I've mentioned, if you're going too fast, you could get into trouble there, you know? Sometimes you gotta go fast, but sometimes you don't. Gotta go fast. But we have now discovered the crash site. And keep note of all the locations we're finding, by the way, because it's gonna be very important. The residents will sometimes move, but also a lot of the lore of the game, as I've mentioned, all the inner workings start to reveal themselves based on all the intricate names of the locations, how they're named, and the stories involved. These two tiles here in particular are bodies. Oh yeah, those right here are bodies. What those bodies are doing there? Well, we happen to be the crash site, so maybe this note here could enlighten us a little bit. The forest seems to have sealed itself around the burnt-out car chases, weeds and thorns poking through land that remains unhealed, scarred. I did not think the witch acknowledged mistakes. So, we have the remains of a vehicle there. Now, by the way, this item here helps thirsty and injured. Not what we're looking for Heather, who happens to be sick, unfortunately. Now, this green tile is poison. As you can imagine, very much like Hex bad, but that one, as you can see, if we move this here, would not remove poison. So, we need to either find a different tile that does that, or just ignore it altogether for now. Let's speak to Roland, who happens to be disturbed. The armored van wasn't his. Roland makes that clear for two reasons. First, it shows the skill needed to acquire a vehicle of that size. Second, it explained why he would swing across 2 lanes of traffic into blinding fog to end up here. One bad day and too much skill for his own good. So we have a crash site. He's claiming the armored van wasn't his. We have a couple of bodies. So again, we're learning a little bit more about these inhabitants, who happen to be animals, you're asking. So these animals are driving, you're saying? Heather, the rabbit or whatever she was, just staring at the tree? Not really. I feel in many ways, as I've mentioned, as you progress more with the story, you uncover more things, you start to learn the inner workings of what's really happening here. Like maybe they were sucked in here as well, like we were, but for different reasons. So, let's see. We're around the store. We can't unfortunately help any of the critters here thus far. Let me grab this bad boy here and let's go north right now. Clear this up a little bit. We have an opening right there. I would like to kind of simplify my life a little bit so I don't have to worry too much about running into these things as I'm moving from one place to another really quickly. Mud, please. You're making life difficult for me. Let's bring you along. And now let's go and put you here. That's good. This is a wide enough opening. I don't have to worry too much about it. And let me bring you too. Now let's continue going up. We have disturbed. We have sick. We got no ways to clear that up. The flooded bin has been discovered. We got, oh, okay. We got a little critter here. You find another soul, thirsty. I think we could actually take care of one fun. Donna, it's better this way, right? They arrived in the forest together. Now she writes breakup songs in her head that he'll never let her sing. Deer is lost in the green, and Donna is learning to be alone with herself. So we know you're thirsty, right? I could definitely placate that. This is where I've mentioned where you start traversing really far back and forth. That's the reason why it's very good to have wide openings like this. So if you kind of remember the path that you took, you don't have to worry about necessarily like, that. Finagling your way through like little hallways like this. Especially once you start traversing. Now, even though the world itself is going to get really big at some point, there's a way to get around that. And I'll show you once we get to it. Donna's now more than her ex. We have helped her one day. So, when the day progresses, by the way, these souls might move. And they'll have different things you have to take care of. Again, the thing here is that you want to help as many people as possible to get the witch heart, or at least not the witch heart, but the heart of the forest restored. Ooh. We have found one of those locations that I mentioned is going to be very useful for us. There are holes in walls and floors that were clearly once shaped with care. The woman who built this place with her own hands is long gone. The hut is flooded. The witch wins. Now, we have that right there, right? We also got a gnarled staff. Nullifies water and quicksand tiles. Let's bring this along here with us and let's continue going north. because if we continue going more than likely, because this one's there. Oh, we got another fella right there. Aha, that's what I was looking for. Fruiting forest and the riverhead. Man, we're fighting a bunch of things here. We're basically right in the state line of all these things. That's always keeps going back and forth. Let's check this out first. Repairs ruined structures. The grotesque stone does that, right? The missing piece to a greater whole. Unprompted, a puzzle appears in your consciousness and you start to search for where the pieces belong. It compels, it promises, it worries you. Well, shouldn't worry us too much because if we bring this bad boy down with us now, it restores dilapidated things as we read, right? A new day begins and game has been saved and your health grows with the forest. And that really grew because of us fixing this flooded hut right here. Now, what can we use this for, you're asking? First and foremost, we can get through this over here. We have got some drift now, but that icy looking tile cannot get through it. This, we need another one of these places restored before we could actually use it. So, you know, you might already start figuring out what that is for by me telling you that already, right? But let's actually try to show it out by finding another one here. I'm taking this with me just in case we need it for something. Right now, this place seems to be relatively safe. Now, because we are in a new day, we can now start heading back and like seeing if Heather and Roland, they have certain things that we can now actually take care of to increase the heart of the forest here. But we have found another feller along the way. Little squirrel. This guy's thirsty. Luckily for us, we got this right here to give you right nearby. The heartbeat of the forest grows stronger. This is Chad Shakespeare. He was a teenager. He should be driving now, hitting on girls. I mean, obviously driving, hitting on girls. His name's Chad Shakespeare. Could you imagine the possibilities this dude might have? And trying his best and messing up and getting better. Instead, because of a dare, he ended up in a haunted forest as a squirrel. Chad Shakespeare knows it isn't your fault, but he can't help resenting you a little anyway. So, we weren't really too sure why Roland and, Roland was a raccoon, I believe, and Heather was a rabbit. But now, by getting to Chad Shakespeare here, we've apparently learned that because of a dare, he ended up in a haunted forest as a squirrel. He was a teenager. Driving and hitting on girls is what he should have been doing as Chad Shakespeare. So again, a little bit more is revealed to us. Now, let's continue going up a bit more. Those right there, I believe, will also hurt me. And I think those are the ones that we could particularly use these wands here, I'm going to call them staffs, to clear out, such as that. So these are basically the ones we're going to be using for the non-hexes, but they will also hurt us as well. Before we travel all the way back, let's see if I could find something over here. What I'm trying to do is I'm hoping that we could quickly find another structure. We have more bodies here, by the way. Different looking bodies. Remains. Different remains altogether. Poison. Killing fields. Now all the bodies that we've been seeing along the way are probably making a bit more sense considering we're a place called the Killing Fields, right? What do we have here? Whistling Bones. Nullifies poison thorn tiles. We have a couple of those here, as you can see. People died here. The keening note on the wind is a scar, the dull reminder that pain existed in this place, and it is gone, and you remain. The sharper pieces of the forest flinch in sympathetic recognition. Extravagant. So, what does that mean for us? Well, first and foremost, there is a wolfman here, and a note. This might explain the killing field. A missile silo inexplicably dropped in the middle of the forest. Wrapped in weeds, surrounded by dozens of dead bodies, the image would be ironic if not for the sense that it could roar to deadly life. So we have a killing field. Oh, nice! And we have found ourselves another structure. Now the problem is that we didn't bring us a little bit of a thing to fix this, so we're gonna have to travel back for that, but luckily we know it's straight south. Lex. Wolves should have packs. Lex happens to be disturbed.
Don't you dare.
He came into the woods to get a moment alone, a moment to separate and think. That was a long time ago. Occasionally, he wonders what happened to those he left behind, grandchildren he'll never meet. So what it's looking like, more than likely, we learned from the other dude that was there to come into the forest, and this guy who just came in here to think, is that these are just people that came into this forest. It happens to literally be, I guess, haunted because of the witch. Yeah, stop dying, Falcon. And the curse of this forest is what apparently trapped their souls into creatures of the forest. That is what we're kind of finding out here. Now, we want to go straight side, as I've mentioned. Get out. Now, in case you're wondering what happens if you die, you don't necessarily have to start over. There is that. You skip a day forward. Now, did we know what this was? No. But we'll figure it out right now. And my health has grown with the forest as well. And as you can see now, this is lit up. We can take it, and now we can trouble. No, I mean, the witch is going to be in trouble if I ever get my hands on her. But we could travel ourselves from one place to another. And we'll uncover more of these, you can see here. There's even an arrow going down to give you an idea how much more traveling should be going on here. And right now we only travel straight north, so keep that in mind. Let's go down to the flooded hut. And what I'd like to do now is go north, or maybe even figure out if they're not north, but go east to the right. You're thirsty at the moment. That's fine, because thirsty ones are very near. But stop doing that. I guess at some point I should kind of show you guys what happens if you do perish. Yeah, I'll do that, but not right now. At the moment I got things to do. But I will just kind of give you an idea what happens when that goes down. Let's continue feeding the heart of the forest instead of the heart of the carts, like Yu-Gi-Oh! And aha. Crash site, remember? Our boy Roland? Our boy Roland no longer here. But what I'd like to do is to simplify my life, at least going forward here a little bit, is bring some of this. Ooh, you know what? If I want to simplify, we want to make a shortcut through here, honestly. Let's do this. There it is. I would have a couple of these extra items, so we don't necessarily have to go there. Like, for instance, right now we know Roland's little, biome. I was gonna say biosphere. I guess it all works, really. But his little biome right there had the stock of these little... What are these again? Did I even check what these were? The water skins, right. You observe the odd phenomenon that skin attracts skin. Human skin takes on closed skin, muscle skin takes on flesh skin, even the surface of water attracts a covering. Its skin, all the way down. I actually didn't read that before. It's very disturbing when you put it that way as well. And, finagle ourselves through here. Okay. We have discovered the Mawson Glade. Helps injured and disturbed, does the poultice. It is revealing how much of the device is dedicated to soothing, moss, and salve, and binding the sign to shift with the body's natural rhythms and desires. It appears healing is only a fraction of the work. Was there any notes here? Yes, there was. Let's learn a bit about the Mawson Glade. And, a lot of hexes there, but I believe these hexes lead towards Heather, so I don't necessarily have to clear those out. Sunshine pierces the ground here and there, weaving a tapestry of soft green and piercing yellow beneath the trees above, like dancing amidst the witch's dark. Maybe the witch herself is a hypothetical situation. Maybe she is the darkness. There is no corporeal form to the witch. New day begins. As night becomes dawn, you feel the forest shift around you. Supplies rejuvenate, creatures move to different locations, discovering new needs and injuries. Despite the witch, life goes on. And there is hope. So let's hook Roland up with some food. There you go, Playboy. How you feeling now? Humming, still tired. You're always tired, Roland, right? Maybe you should stop running people over in your armored advance, okay? Have you thought about that? Well, Heather's still down there. Let's, I guess, continue going north, and we're gonna basically hook off to the west now. So we haven't definitely gone through there. This is basically linking us to like a dead end here, isn't it? Let me bring you along with me on this little journey. And I want to see if we could kind of bend off here to the left at some point. Not quite. You're still here, though. Donna is thirsty. A berry should deal with thirst for us. We got a couple here. What I'd like to do eventually do is remove myself from the hex tower for one, but essentially find a travel location. Like, I mean, we have one here, technically one of these teleportation spots, and drag a bunch of these items here so we could basically jump from one location, grab something, and then jump through. I mean, I imagine that we could jump, hopefully, from one location to another one holding an item. Now I think about it, I'm not even sure that's 100% correct. Just try to figure it out, though. But either way, as a matter of fact, let's try it out now, perhaps. Let me grab one of these staves and jump. Oh! No. Let me back in the flooded hut. No, so you can travel holding one of those items. But then again, these are one of the items that manipulates the environment. What about, like, an actual, like, you know, healing item? So we got a healer right here. Let me jump into travel. No, you can't. You cannot? So it kind of ruins my idea, because my idea was, like, bring a bunch of these items here, right? And then if you say need them all the way up north, we just like, oh yeah, this is my hub area, we grab, we jump into the portal, and we're out of here. But apparently not. I'm a little disappointed in that. Thought I had a good idea. I mean, it was a good idea, it just doesn't unfortunately work. Well, let's grab this, and we want to hook off. There's a couple more of these items here that could help us. Oh! Die. Fruiting Forest. Have we been to the Fruiting Forest? I don't feel like we've tapered off here, have we? Because we went straight north. Yeah, this is actually new. The berry patch, we have not been here at all. Okay. We can eliminate some of these bad boys that way as well, huh? Not that just yet. Let me grab one more of these here. In particular, you. Let's see if we can maybe find... Oh, that right there, I believe, is the quicksand that we kind of read about. Yes, sir. Can't zoom out anymore to see. It seems like there might be a path down to the south. So we got Berry Patch up north. We got that down here to the south. Let's grab you. And clear that area off. We got 2 destinations at the very least right now, which I'm excited about. Okay, here we go. So we'll do this, right? Now, this is not the ideal way to travel because obviously on the way back we have to move over and over. We want to have a lot of these at some point so we have just a clear path. But right now, just for the sake of exploration. The music's changing a little bit weird as well, like... Huh. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a lot different than what's the usual ambiance music here. It's getting louder and louder as we move towards the mod pad. This is what I mentioned about this game, just being, it's so hard for me to, like, you know, describe it. Like, without playing it, you just don't understand. It's just, it's weird. Now it's gone. But I was enjoying the beat so much suddenly. Okay. Modpad has a lot of these things to help us with the quicksand and the water, so this is going to be our spot for it here. We have a note. Let's learn about this Modpad. Ribbed wings beating a sharp... Oh, it's back. Ribbed wings beating a sharp 3-4 times signature groanings of grass and leaf and lichen, the strobing of light, and the sucking pulse of quicksand speedily forgotten. Here are a parade of sensations, all suggesting you deserve to have a good time. I mean, the music definitely wants me to have a good time. Mothman. Chittering in the dark of his own making. He's sick. He is the rock star of the forest. No kidding. He is an enormous winged dork. These facts coexist in a single, tidy moment as you stop to consider the Mothman. He tilts his head and waves in a gesture of welcome. This is your forest too, now. So our boy is sick, huh? Alright, we'll try to... I know we have items for sickness, I'm pretty sure, right? Or do we not? Is it disturbed and injured? We actually might not have a legitimate one for sickness just yet, if I remember correctly. And I could be remembering incorrectly, because that's what I do. But once I find one of my friend, I would try to hook you up, don't worry. Maybe we could even find one in the berry patch. So now that we have found this though, it gives me a chance to now move these through here, which is what I wanted to do to begin with, to simplify my life over on this side. So that'll take care of that, hopefully. And then that's that. But why stop there? That's good. And we need at least one more to get to this area without any sort of issue. So I think this one right here will definitely hook us up. Nope. Right about here. There we go. Okay. So, this should lead us towards Berryville. Berry Patch. Only berries here, and we got a bear! Of course you'd find the bear in the berry patch. Doing his best, he happens to be hungry, luckily for us. Bam! There it is. Eric was a small man. You can see it in the unease with which he now swings his wide body. He paws at the remains of a shrub, now, the faraway glint in his eye constantly threatening to become another tear. The sad boy, the sad bear. Dorothy ate his porridge. Yellow and red leaves stab through the underbrush, and in this, the role is unclear. Is their job to ward off hungry souls passing by, or to attract a rare friendly notice in this time between the witch and the end? Regardless, the berries look delicious. Well, you gotta look at the bright side of things, right? At least the berries are delicious. So if we go north, then we are seeing that now we're going to the fruiting forest, but we're seeing now that we got a Hex making a little comeback, along with Poison, and off to the left-hand side, we obviously got the waters that will drown us. So, ooh, new item. And we have found a shipwreck and a new traveling point. Let's go. All right, now, how do we get here, my friend, is what I'd like to know. Oh, we got, okay. I wouldn't be surprised if this here, straight south, leads us to, leads us towards, maybe on the, not poisoning yourself, Falcon. So here's what we should do. Let's first and foremost check out the note for the shipwreck. The yacht was torn apart, piece by piece, as if spectral fingers traveled along its belly and shows where it would snap. Bits of discarded clothing still wave among the shattered remains, but the forest is dozens of miles from the nearest large body of water. So how did the occupants get here? When did they anger the witch? I mean, it's kind of weird. It is kind of weird that this would be here in the middle of a forest. And you, medicine, sick and thirsty. It's not clear how the bottle came to rest here, but you can immediately see the utility. The sick, sweet odor of restored health beckons. It will take time and energy, but isn't that the case for anything worthwhile? It's true. And we also got Ratman over here. We got Splinter. Kara, she watches this guy. She happens to be thirsty. We could hook her up with one of those things right there. They restore thirst. It was a routine search and rescue. Missing persons reports could be traced back to this forest going back decades. So now we have someone that's in here because of actively searching for the people that have apparently gone missing in this forest. Perhaps even centuries, if you knew where to look. The last thing she remembers is looking over the edge of a helicopter. And the shove. Ooh. Alright. So Kara was literally thrown off a helicopter while searching for missing people over this forest. That's a biggie right there, I would say, huh? Alright, well, let's grab one of these bad boys here. We know that if we go down, we should be able to hook up our Rockstar friend, one of these for one. And if we continue going south a bit more, we should be able to grab the restoration thing to get that travel point now up and running for us. Bearman, did we hook you up? Oh yeah, because it's a new day. So you know what? Have that. And, oh, you know what? I've died. That's what. I was gonna say, since it's a new day, Rockstar might not even be sick anymore. You might need something else. But either way, I inadvertently died. But it gives me a chance to show you what happens then. Ethereal senses overwhelm you, lose your connection to the material plane. The void embraces you, but you see a light in the distance, calling you back to yourself. You lost a day for your work, but you will not lose your forest. But we have indeed lost a day. We gotta go again. If anything in this game is very blatant, I feel it's like the obvious signs of like the afterlife, really. We have to follow the light to get back to the forest. A forest of apparently lost creatures. So, again, that's where I'm telling you, like, it's very, like, everything's laid out for you right there, but you start digging more into it and start getting more of the story for yourself. And that's when it starts making more sense. And then, you know, you start seeing all these stories about, I mean, the Kara one in particular has been really, really intriguing for me thus far. Flooded Hut is where the fixing things were, or at least some of them were. Yes. So, we want to grab you. Oh, I mean, while we're here. Hungry. Not a hungry hippo, but a hungry froggo. Hungry froggo we could just give a little berry to. Now, in a way, I can even see sometimes the benefit if I don't see like a really big downside for dying, for instance, right? I can see kind of a little bit of a benefit for sometimes just dying for a quick travel back, if all we lose is a day. But this is the path that we took. Oh, wait. Is it? Why would I put that staff there for no reason? This is a bear mat. Not sure. I mean, that staff didn't really lead to anything unless I was using it to move up. Well, either way, we'll get to the bottom of it here pretty soon. Right now, don't die again, you ding dong. Right now, I just want to get to that structure. There it is. Carefully. Oh, don't do it. All right, the shipwreck has been restored. Give me more HP. Your connection to the material plane has grown. You now have the strength to store an item for later use. For later using the G button. Don't store anything you would regret using later. Ooh, really? Okay. Now, as you can imagine by my surprise, I had not gone this far. Like, I've played the game a little bit off camera just to kind of get used to it and everything like that. But I also wanted to leave a little sense of wonder and mystery when I did the video, so I didn't go too far into it even though I got the basics down. This, I didn't get this far, obviously. So, we now have a way to store items, is that correct? So, how does this work? There it is. So, we now have medicine right there in our back pocket. So, that probably only works with items, though. Maybe not with... You know what? Put that down. Yes, it also works with that. Interesting. Okay. Well, that definitely gives me a lot of maneuverability now. Let me continue going north a bit more. See if there's something else up here. Maybe something that requires... Oh, there's some structural fixing. Oh, and one up there too! With red icons, which I have never seen before. Okay, now I definitely need to go over there. We have to find out what's happening through here, whether it's dangerous or not. This is where I mentioned about leaving a little bit of the sense of the mystery. I have no idea what any of this is here, especially those red things. The black tree discovered my presence. I don't think grabbing those red things is particularly fruitful for me. Now this dude's traveling straight left? Oh, the shipwreck, right. No, don't lead me afar. So we've essentially have covered the first area, I guess. And then we head down, we'll probably uncover more stuff afterwards. Now, there is obviously a big part of me that, ooh, Nelly, if we want to go up there, we're gonna need a couple of those hex things, huh? Alright, I mean, I want to do it right now. I definitely want to see what's up there. But, oh, you know what? Then we can now travel with the pocket item, can't we? We have to be able to do that now. So hold up, dog, hold up. You need anything right now, Lex? You're disturbed. Gonna really do much for me right now. That's gonna be for poison the bones, we said, right? We need to go far, far back, flooded hut area, and pocket ourselves you. And I believe we should be able to travel with a pocket item then, right? Yes. Okay, so you know how earlier I mentioned I was a little bit upset that we can't travel that way? What's the reason? Well, if we pocket, then we can do my original plan. Perfect. Okay. So luckily I was in vibe with the game. I just needed to get to a certain unlockable before we actually did that. Perfect. I do want to go through there. This is going to be locked off to us, huh? Okay. So hold up. We definitely have to go through that. I'm going to check what that red thing is too, by the way, because I'm curious about it. Whether it kills me, well, too bad. I got to learn. You come here. Again, this is bad because we won't be able to travel back. You know what could be a good idea, though? Assuming we find another travel thing up there. It'd be kind of very close because, you know, we already got the black tree one right here. But, I mean, why not, you know? Asking yourself, like, why not? Just in case, you never know? Sure. So, put that in my G pocket. So I'm a real OG at the moment here. And we travel again. So, this is fine. A bit further up. Oh boy. Okay, we've gone through the hex this way. In a black corridor now. Ooh, witch grasp. It's echoes with the cruelty. Okay. I feel like, you know, I feel like we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. I'm hearing like little ambient cricket noises. Who is this fella right here? Okay, can I get to him? I just want to see who this is. What are you? You're a fox. Squints towards your haze, hungry. Unlike many of the forest creatures, Fox appears to have always been a fox. As you approach, the memory of her every waking moment thrills through your being. Like a dossier assembled by the forest itself, the fox snuffles in your direction, as if to say, are we done here? And scurries elsewhere. I mean, if you're gonna give me attitude, who's gonna feed you then, huh? Think about that for a sec. Okay, hold on. So, we didn't read that note here by the witch grasp. I wanted to, but I got distracted. There's so much happening right now. You feel your spirit shrink as you enter the tree line. The pressure is immense, like standing at the bottom of the ocean and feeling your eyeballs pressed back into your skull as you vainly look upward for relief. This is the witch grasp, and right now, she's choking you. I mean, little does she know that I'm into that, you know what I'm saying? You know? Okay. Let's go off here to the left-hand side then, and perhaps we could avoid... Oh, that red thing, right? Yes. And I have now discovered the still lake. So here we actually have to progress through by drifting across. Again, that's not going to kill you, but it does make traveling a bit more difficult, as I've mentioned. Still lake does have a note for us to read, which we will. The island in the center of the lake trembles beneath even your ethereal weight. It feels disconnected from the earth, like an untethered boat on the verge of sinking. It feels wrong. I mean, I do want to grab one of those red things as I've mentioned, and I will. I just would like to see if there's like another travel thing since we have this fixed travel spot location. No, we're back to the witchgrass now. We're back to the witchgrass, and we might need hex item to continue. Oh, hex, and over here can actually require the staff as well. So we have to go kind of through here to make this happen, huh? Yeah, we need a couple of items here. Well, we definitely, I think, imagine would have to find another travel location up there at some point. So you know what I'm thinking? We drop this here. Don't die. I'm going to grab one of those red items to test out. I'm going to see if there's enough time for us to maybe bring a staff and the hex tile clear up with us and go up there at some point and see if we got enough time for that. Let's check it out. Black seed. Kills. Ooh. 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 Now this is intriguing because this is one of the features that the game mentions in the overview. You have the chance of killing some of these creatures permanently. It wriggles and withers, tearing plant flesh from itself to exorcise the weakness from its mortal shell. You can feel it yearn for corruption. Something dark inside of you yearns for the same thing. I mean, from being a guiding light to just suddenly, you know, the need for a little bit of corruption, huh? Okay, so we are back here again. I got the thing for the quicksand. We got our hex tile as well. I'm going to hope that there's a way to unlock another location out there to travel. Whether there is or not, then we'll feed a red seed to one of the inhabitants and we'll see what happens. Maybe this turns me into the path of the witch for all we know. Maybe I don't have to be the guiding light all the time, you know? Did we go somewhere else? Heat pocket, we didn't get this before. Stolen away in the heart of the witch's corruption, there is a place of peace. One could ask why, or how, but perhaps it does not matter. Perhaps this is what defiance looks like. To exist in joy, where you are felt not to belong. Ooh. Remedy. Sick, disturbed, hungry, and thirsty. Like literally. And it's a travel location too. We got Mr. Owl He's not even over here biting on Tootsie Pop. I'm seeing the hex in the mud, which is a good indication that what I was trying to get to. The only thing is I don't see the restoration. Oh, you know what though? The day changed, so the items got reset. Oh, that's what happened.
Do it.
Well, since I can't get that done, I partially blame the fox for distracting me and causing all this to happen. So the fox is going to be the feller that we give this seat to. Foxman, where are you at? There he is. Alright, Foxman. A living soul was murdered. Oh my god, look at my points, they're in the negatives. Fox screams in pain over and over again. She yelps into the forest for help, for someone, anyone to care. But the creatures of the forest know better. They know death doesn't like being interrupted. I believe that is going to be it here for us today. I hope you have enjoyed. This has been Witch Strandings. As I've mentioned from the start, very hard to describe, but it's just very indulging after you get into it. Because you want to learn more about what's really happening. It's a really huge map as well. And then all the strategy becomes involved and you start seeing the little stories, how they actually interact, what's really going on. Definitely an intriguing little game for you guys to check out. I have a link for you down in the description in case you want to go ahead and pick it up for yourselves. Or wishlist. It's now available on Steam as of July 7. I believe this video should be coming out either then or the day after, so by the time you see this video, the game should be live, so definitely check out the link down below. I guess this is something you like to pick up for yourselves and continue onwards. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you next time.